Welcome everybody to a brand new episode. This week I'm one day off and one day late because normally I upload every episode on a Sunday afternoon, but today we're Monday. And the reason being is that this is my podcast and I do whatever I want. And even though this episode this week was a lot about the meaning behind common sense and behind this project and what I'm currently doing with it, it changed. It changed because on the Sunday morning, the last episode of Shingeki no Kyojin, the anime finish, was aired and I got to watch it. And finally, the anime that accompanied me for 10 years was over. So I spent the whole Sunday doing nothing else but thinking about that. And since this is my podcast, and as I said, I do whatever I want, today it's all about anime, especially Shingeki no Kyojin, what it means for me, and a conversation around it. So sit down, fasten your seatbelts, and get ready because we're gonna talk about anime. This is what I do, this is what I love. So, for those of you who don't know what anime is or don't even heard about it, I'm super sad about you because you're missing a huge aspect on the cinematography and the video aspect of production. Anime, like literally those drawings on a scene made by Japan and many companies around it, it's wonderful. You get to experience so many things that there are no words to describe it. But if you want to know more about anime and the whole industry about it, today's not the day, and I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about Shingeki, about what it meant for me during my entire life, because the anime has been aired for like 10 years since the first episode, and even though the manga finished a few years ago and started even earlier, for me it's not fully 10 years. I started watching it a bit later, but still has accompanied me for so long that now that it's over, it really has left a mark inside me. So, what happened? And this is a bit about me and the anime. I'm not gonna go into spoilers, I'm not gonna do anything, it's more what it meant for me and a bit of my abstraction about this topic and how something that simple can affect your life. So, I started watching the anime, first season, a while ago. And mainly because there are some giant titans and people die and it's super frenetic and literally a kid seeing this kind of action loves it, and it was my case. And then after that, the series stopped for a few years, actually for 3-4 years, that were no more seasons aired, and I didn't read manga at the time, so I didn't watch it. And now, few time later, I listened that the anime was coming back, and I remember watching second season and literally dropping it because I felt completely bored about it. And when it was around third one, or finishing second, most likely, I remember friends talking about it, saying you need to pick it up again, give it another try. So I rewatched it, and it was that moment when it clicked on me. And I think it clicked on me because I was mature enough to start understanding the meaning of the anime. Because this is an anime, this is a series that started with a super random topic, which is literally giant titans fighting and humanity is on risk of death. And the more the series evolves, the more mature it becomes. Literally, as you're growing, the series grows with you. And the time that it took, I think it did great benefit to those who started watching it as they were growing up. So I got it second season and rewatched the first one a few times and start picking up details, start picking up the series. And literally unveiling those secrets was captivating me more and more and more and more. And then we here can enter in the cons and pros about the anime, how well adapted it is. I think they did a really good job, even in the final seasons. And it actually started to captivate me more and more and more. To the point that this poster that I have on the screen, I love it so much that I did a drawing. I think this was one of the first drawing that I did at the time. The poster I fully draw with black and white, and actually it ended up being super nice. I think it was one of my first pieces. Well, the first one was actually Eren on the I doubt you can see it from there, but it was Aaron on the maneuver equipment. And then I did the posters of the second season of Shingeki on my style, which was black and white with things like that. And it actually ended up being really nice. And I know I'm not a great drawer, like I don't draw that well, but actually was super profound to me and was the series that marked me. That maturing, that elements of confrontation, the utopic of the world. And the more and more the anime started to evolve, the more and more I started watching it and liking it, better said. And I think it was at the time where Game of Thrones was already on air, and actually when the series was starting to get to that mature point, so did Game of Thrones to that aspect, to those turning points of confrontation and starting to get on moments where fans got angry at the same time, like love the series and hate it both at the same time. And with that, we set it up like for so many years, and now in 24, I think it was 2 years ago, when they started launching the final season, who at the end came like 3 or 4 parts, like it was a whole meme about it. And I started watching it, and from that moment, I think the author did a really nice or smart move, which is completely changed the direction of the series from something purely on fighting, on incredible fights of giant titans, to something much more political and to something that affected us much closer than we actually thought. He started introducing topics of racism, of those colonies separated from the rest of society, discrimination, the injustice in the world due to inequality, etc., 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 which paired really well with that more mature element that made it even better. Like, remember, you have giant titans fighting, and then you have such a big political thing going on in the background, which complemented the series nicely, because you have fights, incredible fights, and then you have that confrontation and those hidden truths, etc., etc., etc. But 2 years ago, when the last season started, the first part, I made one of the first decisions in my life, which was jumping into the anime, because I knew it would take a long time for the production series to finish up. So it was already time to literally read what Shingeki actually was and how it ended. And I think at the time it was one of the first decisions I did, because I got to know the feeling and the ending, and I literally remember being destroyed for 3-4 days after understanding everything. I remember reading pages about the context, about the history, over and over, because I couldn't believe what happened. Like, it's actually quite mind-blowing. And I remember that the whole week after learning how it ended, it was amazing how something as simple as I've said, have impacted me so much, to believe that Tatakai message that the anime is constantly sending to you. And after that, I remember that also the author put some like extra pages that he forgot, or like he didn't include on the last edit of the manga, who actually even destroyed me, knowing that everything that happened centuries later would happen again, which actually made me so use the reality of the world, which is the lack of justice and unfairness that we live in. But that's not the point. The point is, yesterday, the last episode is released, an hour and 24 minutes of pure enjoyment from the beginning to the end, to even knowing when things was going to happen, what was the end result. I knew it, and literally second one of the last episode, I was crying. Literally, I was crying. I could not stop during the whole series, remembering all the elements, all the fights, all the things. Being then animated is an incredible feeling. Like, literally, I have goosebumps right now just thinking about it. And if I watch the episode once again, I will probably cry on the most crucial moments. And it's not because the anime is a masterpiece, of this series for me is a masterpiece. It's because I grew with it, and I learned, and I mature myself as a person with this anime. So I have a connection that I will never have with anything else. Same people did with Goku and Dragon Ball. Same people did with Naruto, Sasuke, all of those. Same people did with One Piece growing up, even though it's still going on. that was my feeling with shingeki. And even though it's not the same longness, it's not the same thing, but for me it is, because it's feelings what matter. And that last scene with Mikasa, Eren, like Armin, you know what was gonna happen. You know all the tricks, all the twists that happen on the anime. I knew them, and I still was like the first time, which is such an incredible thing. Like watching something for the second time, feeling that is the first time, it's amazing. And it's completely what yesterday got me this way. Like I wake up at like 10, and I didn't like I started watching the episode from 10, and I didn't even couldn't even stop watching it. Normally I do two things at a time. I just could watch the anime. I was purely focused on that. And when I finished when training, thinking on the anime, thinking on what a beast of series it just finished forever, now ever and ever. That this was the last episode of these characters. And thinking that made me even happier. Because it could not be that it could be like better said. It is not the best series. I know that. Everyone knows it. But it's my series, which I love about it. Now like imagine how impactful I felt about it, that I'm going to take again a drawing that I started and never finished. Like it's literally one of the few pieces that I started and never finished. This is the last panel of the manga. Like spoiler alert for those watching on video. This thing, I literally took the page of the manga and started drawing it. Because it made such an impact for me that I wanted it to be drawn. And I never finished it, like things happen. And now I will do it step by step, little by little, to start drawing again and like actually finish that scene. Because it's shingeki, it's my series, and I love it. And yesterday I was thinking about, okay, I need to record a podcast, and I was having the topic of common sense, doing just like last week, where we like fast questions, we answer it in a brand new format, and I actually really enjoyed it a lot. But I was actually yesterday thinking about it. I was like, yeah, I kind of made that episode. Like, I'm not thinking on the podcast. I'm thinking on what I am feeling, which is this anime. Which actually, once again, I think I said a lot of actually, which made me realize, like, okay, what is common sense at the end? Common sense is my space for conversations, my space for practicing English, for speaking, for telling the why. Why the hell I'm doing this? I'm doing this because I love talking. What is the one thing that I want to talk more than anything right now? Shingeki no Kyojin final season. I want to make a tribute about it. So I recorded a reel, fucking bullshit reels. And today and yesterday, all I could think was Shingeki. So when I went to work today, I just finished working like a few minutes ago, and I'm literally straining. My heart hurts, like I have a headache that you cannot believe. I'm trying tomorrow, but I don't care. I want to talk about Shingeki. I want to say thank you to them, to every single one of those characters, for making me feeling like a kid and like feeling that I watch a series grow with me. And that's something that I would never experience before. I've never experienced before. So thank you. And since common sense is that why, my why is telling and speaking and producing content and making things around this kind of business that I do. Common sense is just this, it's a space for conversation. It's me talking in a camera, me telling the why I do this, because I love talking. And I love telling and talking around the things that I watch and enjoy. This is why I do this, and not like some research about companies and brands in the world. Because I love one breakthrough of an episode. We've talked about my thesis so much, we talk about all the business troubles. We have more content about traveling, about companies, about sales, about marketing. All of that is there. We have the thesis and the case study that I published, and I'm planning on making a whole episode about it. That's super technical. What are the things that I enjoy? Well, I enjoy watching anime. This is who I am, this is who I like, and this series literally draw my attention so much that I cannot stop thinking about it for a whole week. So I'm gonna talk about it. That's it. Shingeki is that thing that make me do podcasts, that make me make reels, that get me going. It's those kind of series, those kind of episodes where I can sit down and enjoy and disconnect, the same as I do when I'm training, that put the why in the how. Like, this is how I can make this. And I'm making this because I love talking. My why is to love talking, to share things. How I do it is by doing anime, doing training, doing business, all those things. I'm literally completely destroyed, but I think it's worth it. So, for any of you out there, thank you very much for listening this. Please talk and do the things that you really love. Why are you here? Find that me is talking. I'm sharing the small things, small details that bring so much joy in my life. This is just me talking. There is no plan, there's nothing, and I'm literally super tired. But consistency and like doing episodes every week is also one of the rules that I set it on myself. So even though I'm one day late, I didn't want to leave without talking. Okay. Next week we're coming back to a normal episode, which most likely I will record from the hotel room where I'm going tomorrow on a business trip. So I'll see you there. More business content. If any of you like anything about this or you want to talk about any topic, please let me know. It's the only thing that I like doing and I'm decent about it. So let's use it. Thank you very much once again. Tatakeo. If you haven't watched it, shingeki no kyojin. Now it's finished, so you don't have any excuse. I'll see you.